The trouble with grace. Grace can be a problem. The Bible, in fact, brims with unsettling stories that show that grace again and again upsets the apple cart as we know it. Big brother stews when dad throws a big party for a money-grubbing runaway who, down on his luck, has finally come home. Full-time employee grumbles when the boss pays all his part-time workers a full-time day's wage. 99 sheep are left at risk while a shepherd searches for one that is lost. Now, I might find these stories funny or interesting, even useful if I happen to be the runaway son or the part-time worker or the one lost sheep. But a high-achieving, denominationally educated, church-employed, fourth-generation Adventist can hardly be typified in such terms. There's too much of that old-time religion coursing through my conscientious good kid veins, you see. So what happens is that I catch myself sympathizing with the elder brother, the full-time worker, and the 99. Now, even though I've heard these stories 70 times, 7 times, and know the punchline like mother's voice, grace seems against me, and I'm not amused. Good people would take this seriously, but they see that part of the trouble with grace is that it doesn't take good people seriously. At least not as seriously as we take ourselves. For some years now, I've prided myself on not being a legalist, whatever that is. You see, the trouble with grace is that it doesn't have room for me to get uppity of what I am or what I am not. And it's pretty much blind to the names that I call myself. Which brings me to another point. Grace is not only troublesome to the legalist or the Adventist or religious person. Grace can be tough stuff even for ordinary, nice people to stomach. If you want to go one further, I would say this. There's something about human nature that makes it hard for us to hold out an empty hand. Because if we did, grace would fill that hand. And what could be more troublesome than that? Gifts are a problem to us. We're disciples of the make your own way, pull your own weight system. We're capable, self-reliant, high-achieving, and we're guilty. We're all guilty. We believe deep down that we don't deserve anything that we haven't worked, suffered, or paid for, and we narrow our eyes at the free lunch crowd. For all our talk about giving, more often than not, we mix the reality with trade and obligation. It embarrasses us to take a gift when we have no way of paying it back. Accepting an out-and-out gift is tantamount to charity, which from childhood, nice people learned it's good to give and bad to take. But think about this. If polite people have difficulty taking grace as the gift that it is, we also have trouble with the way it turns out and makes our good order stand on its head. We believe in white hats and black hats, and we don't like the way that grace seems to mix them all up. And more often than not, let the wrong hat ride off with the princess in the sunset while Mr. Deserting is left standing, sniffing at the unfairness of it all. There's just something untamed about a God who would sponsor that kind of end to the show. It's obvious that we have not yet successfully civilized him to our sense of justice and propriety. Now, I could mention many more stories, many more problems that grace poses. But I'm going to stop here. And I'm going to go to one more story that Jesus told. Even Jesus admitted that grace can be a problem. No one sews a patch of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, because the patch will pull away from the garment, making the tear worse. Neither do men pour new wine into old wineskins, because if they do, then the skins will burst and the wine will run out and the wineskins will be ruined. No, what they do is that they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. So it is in the meeting of the old and the new. The trouble with grace is the trouble with us. We are old shirts for a new cloth, old vessels for a new wine. We are too proud for the gift. But grace also comes to elder brothers, and with it a choice. We may hold tight to life as we think it should be, cling to what makes us believe we are good, and do the things that make sense to our vision. And it has all along. Or what we can do is we can follow the hard and apparently senseless words that Jesus said. Whosoever tries to keep his life will lose it, and whosoever loses his life will preserve it. And in doing that, we can open ourselves to grace, believing that it will give us something beyond the shredded rags and burst containers, though we haven't the foggiest idea of what it'll be. I myself can't say what it'll be, because it's the nature of grace to surprise. One more thing that I can say is that we who let go of our own righteousness and lose our lives will gain a new view of these unsettling stories. We'll see ourselves lost in a herd of 99, prodigal in our elder brotherliness, and chronically late to our full-time job. It's then that we'll know a shepherd, a father, a generous boss. We may find our lives and laugh at the unexpectedness of it all. For as surely as we know ourselves lost, we shall be found. Found by a grace whose business is not to make good folk better, but to search out the wandering ones and take them home. Take them home to a party.